In question 13, you have to differentiate by first principles. Now you're given the formula for it. So you need to just use that formula to find the derivative of f of x equals 2x squared. Now there's 3 marks for this question. You'll get 1 mark for making the correct substitution. So on the first line, you should use the formula that you're given. Make sure you include the limit as h approaches 0. And now it's a matter of finding the function of x plus h. Now remember that means that anywhere that there's an x in this equation here, you need to substitute x plus h. So that gives us 2 bracket x plus h all squared. Now lots of people would make a mistake with that substitution and accidentally leave out the brackets or just put 2x plus h squared. So that's a spot you could make a mistake. Then you need to just subtract f of x. Well, they've given that to you, so you put that in here and you rewrite the h on the bottom. So the only place you can really mess it up is here. You've just got to watch to find that correct function of x plus h. Next, you'll get a mark for expanding and simplifying it correctly. So you could take your time. You could put an extra line in here if you're feeling like you might mess up this expansion. Remember that when you expand just the x plus h all squared, you get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. So when all of that is multiplied by 2, you get these 3 terms here. Now some people will do that part in their head and go straight to writing it down here. But if this is an area that you make a mistake, then I would recommend actually doing an extra line in here with this part done separately. Then you need to subtract your 2x squared and keep your h there. So really going from here to here, there's a chance of messing up this part. So just take your time and be careful with the expansion. Next, you can see that the 2x squareds cancel out. So from this line to the next, all I've done really is get rid of those. So if you wanted to, you could almost leave that line out and actually just do your crossing out on this line to save a bit of time. Importantly though, you can't take the limit as h approaches 0 while h is still on the bottom of a fraction, because we can't have 0 in the denominator. So you need to get it to the point where all the terms on the numerator have got h in them, and if you've done it correctly, they should all have an h, so that then you can cancel h out of all 3 of the terms there, and that gives you just 4x plus 2h over 1, so there's really no need to write over 1, it's just 4x plus 2h. Notice how on this line you still haven't taken the limit as h approaches 0 yet. That's the last thing to do. Now you get a mark for taking the limit correctly. That doesn't mean it's a mark just for finishing up with 4x, because you might be able to look at this and see very easily that the derivative is 4x. Instead, you need to not just get 4x, but you need to make sure you've included that limit all the way down the page until you actually did substitute in 0 for the h. So all of that being correct gives you that last mark.